Linda with Sweet Aria Decor, and I make lots of different things, but I love to share my passion for crafting with others, so I like to show you guys how I make things. Everything that I make is available at sweetariadecor.com, including what's going to be this one, Love is Sweet. Ooh, I like that one, and that, sorry, it's making me hungry. All right, so instead of doing a mesh wreath tonight, I am going to branch out and start doing some more grapevines. I think that kind of tends to be the trend going on right now, so I'm definitely gonna move to that. So we're gonna have our Love is Sweet sign tonight. We're gonna use what I think is, let's see how wide this one is. This is a, let me see, this is an 18-inch round grapevine. All right, so we're gonna do that. We've got our Love is Sweet. We have a varied assortment of greenery we're going to use for that. I also have some of our favorite filler bush 60919. So we have it in pink, and we also have it in red. So I'm going to be mixing kind of a combination of the two, because both of those are in this sign. Now, the cool thing about this sign is that it perfectly matches this ribbon. Love it so much. I don't have it in a 2.5, so for the 2.5 inch, we're gonna do just something nice and plain, right? I mean, it's got a little bit of a pattern, but I don't want to take the focus away from the cookies. But I again have the cookie here in a 7/8. Check it out. Woo, matches. But then I also want to bring in a tiny little touch of glitter, so we're gonna go with this, and this is a 5/8. So we've got that. And then once we finish it all off, we're going to have florals in there. I have standard red roses, but I do have this bush that I got from Old Time Pottery, I don't know, probably earlier this year. I think it's more of a spring bush, but I really liked the different shades of pink, because we have the hot pink, we have a light pink, we have red, we've got some white. So I think I'm actually going to leave the daisies. I may use this whole bush mixed with the red roses. But then the cool thing I'm going to be adding in too, I got these from the Craig Bachman warehouse sale, so I have 10 of these. I'm probably not going to use all 10, but I just can't resist because they look so super cute with that. So we're going to put some of those in there. So now the first thing we're going to do with this grapevine is we're going to attach our sign. I want to put it down here. Okay, so I'm going to staple up here and staple down here. That's where I'm going to put my pipe cleaners, okay? I don't want to put it above there. I want to kind of put it kind of following the line. So I'm going to go like right there. So it kind of goes nice right along there, okay? So I'm going to keep my fingers on those spots. All right, I snipped that off. What I like to do is staple things on there. So my staple gun's a little thick. So I need to take, this is just a cardboard tube from a 10-inch roll of mesh. And I'm going to cut some squares. I'm going to cut 2 for each place I'm going to add it. So I've got 1, 2, and then 3, 4. Okay. This is going to keep the staples from going through the front of my sign, which I don't want to do. I'm also going to try to take the price tag off the back of the sign. Yeah. I didn't see that one there. It snuck by me. Snuck past. I did get the price tags off of, I think, everything else except the Old Time Pottery one. Because I knew if I took off the price tag, I wouldn't remember where I got it from. Okay? So, price tag is off. Off-ish. Okay. Here we go. And again, I'm just going to get this ready. I want to really make sure I know exactly where I want to put these. So again, I'm going to hold it right here. That's going to go right here. That's going to go right probably up here. So there and here. Okay? I'm taking a pipe cleaner. Move this over. Taking a pipe cleaner and my staple gun. I'm just going to staple this right on here. Now I'm just using black just so it's not visible once I put it on there. I'm just going to staple it twice. You can also use a cable tie mount on the back of these if you want. However, I trust staples more than I trust glue. So we're going to do that. All right, and the other two. All right, so this is what it looks like on the back of our sign. I'm going to get those going. I think I'm going to put the top in second. I think I'm going to try to do the bottom first. Or at least kind of try to poke them through there. So literally, I'm just taking these and poking them right through the grapevine. Pokey, pokey, pokey. I'm so excited to actually be live tonight. I couldn't go live on Monday. I had just gotten back from Disney World. And I had a horrible sty in my eye, so I couldn't even open my eye. It was horrible. Now, the night before, I did get splashed in the eye with water from Tiana's Bayou Adventure. However, I do not blame Tiana's Bayou Adventure for my sty. It wasn't their fault. No. It's because I was wearing eye makeup and I'm not used to it and I don't really like it. Alright. I think I want to try to move these up a little bit just so that it's not hanging or pulling down on it. Alright. You can also use floral wire, if you wanted to go through with the cable timeout, whatever, but I really just prefer working with pipe cleaners because they're nice and easy. Alright. Twisty, twisty, twisty. Alright. So then what I do is I just cut a little bit off so that the ends are even. I'm just going to take that pipe cleaner and poke it right into the back. Alright. Now this one back here, I haven't yet tightened. I kind of just poked that through. So now I'm going to pull that. Nice. That is very secure. Alright, so again, I'm going to twist this pipe cleaner around itself so it makes one piece. I'm going to trim it off down here. I like to leave a lot of pipe cleaner left on there because what if I want to move the sign, right? All right, I'm just poking that right back into the back of the grapevine. So now we have our placement right here. Ooh. All right, here we go. I'm being extra clean tonight. I did vacuum in here earlier. I clogged my vacuum 6 times. But I finally vacuumed the floor in here because our Christmas dinner is going to be right over that way, and it was hella messy in here. It was a disaster. All right, so now that we have our Love is Sweet, we've got 2 bushes of this. So we got to figure out: am I going to go up and down this way, or are we going to move it and go on a bit more of an angle so it's kind of like this? And this is what I'm thinking. So if we got our sign down here, I really want to do a top left for a bow. Instead of being centered, we're going to kind of go up that way. Now that will kind of dictate what our bow ends up looking like, but that's kind of the general gist of what I am going to be doing. All right, so with that said, I think I want to put in some of this greenery now because I don't want to risk getting a lot of glue onto my greenery, or onto my bow. So I'm going to snip this. All right. So I've got 2 of these bushes. One I'm going to kind of consider for I'll call it left and right, but it's really not entirely left and right. It's kind of, almost up and down, if you will. Okay. So this is bush 1. So we're going to make kind of a boop, 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 boop. And this kind of looks like it's between 10 and 11 o'clock. So we're going to call this 10:30. We're going to call this halfway into the Price is Right in my time zone. All right. So I'm going to start from the top. Now I have my glue gun here. So you can use a glue pot. My glue pot is out to get me. So I'm just going to I just like to add the glue right onto the stem. I'll start bringing them in. Okay, so that's going to be there. Make sure I have some, kind of coming up. Now these are pushers too, so if I wanted to, you could push them up and down. You could kind of really relegate how much give they've got going on. So some of these I might trim because that's a lot of stem, and I don't want to risk the stem poking through the back. Leslie, hey Leslie, how is it going? I'm very excited. I placed the order for your mailbox swag supplies, so I'm very excited to see that coming. And as soon as it gets here, I will get on that ASAP. I want to get that out to you as soon as I can. And Stephanie, hello, how are you doing tonight? Happy Wednesday. So, can you guys believe a week from today is Christmas Eve? Like, when did this happen? How did this happen? I am at a loss for where these weeks have gone. It all went really fast. Last week, time stood still last week. Last week I was down in Disney World, which was fabulous. I went to the Disney Christmas party, which was a bucket list item. So I can now die happy. Not that I'm planning on it, but I can die happy. I've always wanted to go. My daughter made me miss the fireworks because she wanted to see Anna and Elsa. But aside from that, it was a really nice time. We did not get to do everything, of course, because there was way too much to do. But I was really happy with what we did get accomplished. We rode Tron at night, which rocked. That was freaking awesome. The cookies were awesome. The hot chocolate they gave out was awesome. I also learned that it triggered my my lactose issues. So that was not awesome, my friends. No. That was a tough next day, both for me and anyone standing in line behind me. Poor Aria. That poor kid. I think I dragged her to every possible bathroom in Hollywood Studios at that point. It was a day. It was a day. Okay. And I've got two more. So I am going to have some other greenery in here. I'm just kind of trying to give it like a nice starting base. But I do want to bring it over here as much as I can. All right, so I'm going to put some of these in there a little bit more. I have to say the weather down there in Florida was just amazing. Leslie, it was fantastic last week. Like, unbelievable. I loved it. It was so... I could walk around in a sweatshirt and not be hot and sweaty. I'm like, is this what normal people who don't get hot flashes feel like? It was great. It got a little chilly. The end of Thursday night was the party. Got a little chilly. But didn't bother me in the least. Here we go. Okay. This is kind of just helping to get the color green out there, right? We're not trying to fill in everything because we're going to have lots of other filler bush as well. So now I'm going to go cut the other ones. I'm going to do these down here. I don't know if I flashed it on there, but I don't know if you guys can see my shirt, but of course not. I'm wearing a Mickey Christmas shirt. I'm going to be wearing a Mickey Christmas t-shirt every day between now till Christmas because I bought some for the trip and I want to get my money's worth out of it. It was great. It was really, really magical. And Aria said to me that she wasn't so afraid of the month of December anymore, which made me happy because December is a hard month for our family. We're coming up on the 5-year anniversary on the 21st of my husband passing away. Cannot believe it's been 5 years. So I think that's why I needed to go this year. I needed something happy, and I got it. It was like the world stopped for a couple of days. Now, my credit card bill didn't stop for a couple of days because, oh my gosh. But, cool trick. If you go down there, get the kids' meals. They're less expensive, and then, like, my kid doesn't even finish her kids' meal, so, like, I'd eat mine, and then I kind of finish hers. So, I spent less on food than I was thinking, which wasn't bad. Was not bad at all. It was a trip of a lifetime. We stayed in the Little Mermaid room, the Art of Animation. It was great. There's only so much longer that she's really going to be a kid and into them. I mean, she's 12, right? But she's kind of starting to come out of that, princess phase. And I had just wanted to go do it one more time. And I did. And now I will be paying for it for the next 3 years. But that's okay. We made memories. Then we came back. We got off the plane. I kid you not, when we left there, it was like 78 degrees that day. And I checked the weather here, and it was 6. By the time we got off the plane, the temperature was 4, but it felt like -4. We were not prepared for that. So I had to walk around the airport. I had yoga pants or leggings, then I had pajama pants over that. I'm not usually one that dresses sloppily for the airport. Like yoga pants, fine, but I don't usually do pajama pants. But in this case, we landed at 11 o'clock at night. And I was going to be cold, so I'm like, I'm going to do it. And I did. Of course, they were Mickey Mouse themed pajama pants. But nothing quite prepares you for stepping off that plane. And you could see your breath on the jetway. Ari's like, look, Mom, I'm smoking. I'm like, no, you're not. Oh, here we go. Getting the rest of this in. I'm just putting my hand behind there to make sure that it's not poking out. Okay, I've got 2 left. I think probably 1 up there. But I might actually go put 1 more on the other side because I feel like the other side, there's like a gap toward the top. So we'll take a look at that in a minute. All right, there we go. Just nice little base. But I feel like right here I want something. So I'm going to use the one from the other side. That technically should have gone down here, but I'm going to use it over there. Because I want to, and I'm going to. And nobody can stop me. All right, I feel better now. I like that better now. Move this around a little bit. This is nice greenery. I think this came in a subscription box. I probably should have paid attention to what the tag was, but I think this might have come from Decor Exchange. So I would recommend to you all, go take a look there. I like this. I don't think I've ever used anything quite like it before. I did try putting bead grass on there, but that looked a little too springy, and this isn't quite spring. Okay, so now we've got that on there. I'm good with that. I'm going to move to the bow for right now, so I'm going to move that to the side. Okay. I'm going to clean off my spot. Okay, now I can say hello. Asia, hello. Stephanie's in Florida right now, camping near St. Pete. Oh, awesome. Oh, I'm so glad that you've got great weather for that. That's fantastic. You put up a little bright blue 4-foot tree in your camper. You're going to be there for Christmas. Oh, that is so cool. Well, I wish you the merriest, merriest of Christmases. I hope it's going to be a fantastic one. Okay. Here we go. That doesn't need to be there. Where did those come from? Hold on, hold on. I just had a little surprise pop up here on my table. Mellow cream pumpkins from Halloween. Where did those come from? I don't know, but they're still good. I'm going to eat them. I'll put them behind me. I've never met a candy I didn't like. So I am diabetic. Alright, so again, I'm just going to hold up the stack here. You can see the ribbons I'm going to do. I've got my 4-inch. They're not quite cookies. I guess they're Valentine's chocolates, I guess, in white and red. Then we've got the pink and red. We've got that same pattern again in a, is that 7/8? And then we have a red glitter and a 5/8. Okay? So if this bow is going to be going up at the corner, then I know I want to do a tail. I do want to do, I think, some cascades coming out into this, but I don't necessarily think I want to cascade it with the 4-inch because that's going to be too big. I think I'm probably going to cascade it with this, and then maybe a little bit of that in there as well. Have like some, I want something romantic, so I might do like a tail, like that 7/8 that curl down. So for right now, I know that I want to do a top tail coming out of there, I think. Because the way the sign is, if I end up having tails coming down, it's going to hit, I think, into this sign too much. Maybe. Maybe not. I think I'm going to have one of these tails coming down and then a shorter one on top. So I think for the long tail, it's not really going to be super long. I'm going to measure this in my Easy Bows Design Pro. I would say this is probably about a 12-inch tail. Okay, then I'm going to do my pinch and twist over here. Move this and make sure you guys can see me making this bow. Now there's a delay between what I see on Facebook and when I do things, so I'm just going to hold that there for a second to make sure that my angle is good before I move on. Okay, I think I'm good. All right, so bring this around. So now for my loops, I don't want to go too crazy on the bow, but I think I'm going to do, I wonder if a 7-inch, I'm going to hold it up. I always do this. I want to just hold it up and make sure I don't make it too big, too small. Just right. Yep, that'll be good. It's a 7-inch loop. Okay. So I got my tail. I have my 7-inch loop, and then I'm going to pinch and twist on the right-hand side so that I can make a 7-inch loop over here. This is like a nice canvas ribbon. It's going to hold its shape really well. But it's not so thick that I have to pinch and twist outside of the bow maker before I put it in. Actually, I want to do a nice little pinch and boop. Okay. So then this top tail is going to come on. I'm going to cut this right now. I'm going to cut it at 9, but then I'm going to do a dovetail, so it'll probably end up being more like 8.5 inches long. Okay. Well, I want this to have a nice bow. I don't want this to be like, oh, there happens to be a wreath attached to the bow. All right, so I'm going to move that up. We're going to make this into a cross shape. So my longer tail comes down, my shorter tail goes up, and I may end up shortening that. I'm not sure yet. And then these are each at 7 inches on the loops. So that does it for my 4-inch. I'm going to put that behind me. Stephanie, I'm glad you like the ribbon choice. I like it too. I was hunting for something that was pink and red, but not too overwhelming. I was very happy I found this. I'd always consider this a Christmas ribbon. But honestly, I think I've been remiss in doing that. Okay, so now, this one, I'm going to have this tail coming down. So this tail is going to be about 1 inch. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to do some tails with some cascades, but I will show you later how to do that. Right now, I'm just going to put this in as just a bow, and then I will add some extra loops in there later, okay? So if they were 7 inches before this layer, I'm going to put in at, I think, like 6.5. I'm going to do 6.5. Pinch and twist. Okay. Then 6.5 on this side. Okay, and then I'm going to bring my tail up. Okay, and then I'm going to cut that a little bit shorter. I think I'm going to cut this tail at 7.5 inches so that it is at 7 inches once I've dovetailed it. Yep, all right. Here we go. So let me hold this up for you for just a moment. You can see what this is looking like in the bow maker. All right, this is kind of what we're looking like right now. And again, the tails aren't super long because I don't want it to obscure the sign. All right, now I have two choices. I can either do the cookie or the red. Now the cookie is 7/8 and the red glitter is 5/8, so I think I'm going to do the cookie. All right. Sorry, that ribbon is unraveling behind me. I just want to stick a pin in it. There we go. All right. Maybe I might do 2 loops with this. Okay, so this one, I don't like to dovetail anything less than 1.5 inches, so I'm going to cut that on an angle. This is the one I was thinking of making some tendrils with it. I might. So I'm just gonna, just gonna kind of wrap that around there. All right. so that when I pull it, it's going to be kind of like a little curly, right? So I'm going to pinch and twist. Now this one is going to be at 5.5 inches. Okay, so 5.5, pinch and twist, 5.5. Okay, but instead of going up with this ribbon, well, you know what, I might. I'm going to go up, I'll go over, I'm just going to do like a little angled cut, okay, because I think I want to come in from the other side and do, I want to do it on the other side too. Oh, I just dropped my mouse. Oh, there we go. Reads more by Stacy. Hey, Stacy, how's it going? How are ya? Merry early Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Here we go. All right, so this one I'm going to kind of pull down a little bit. I just want to do another, I'm going to do a bow going up on the other side, okay? But this one I'm going to do a little bit smaller, so I'll do this at 5 inches. Kind of doing something just a little bit different, right? All right. All right. Because I don't have it in a 1.5, I wanted to make sure I had enough of that pattern in here, but don't need too much. Okay, and then now, did I have a pin? I did. Put a pin in that, Linda. All right, I will. All right. Oh, just another day and a half of school. Oh, Lord, please let her get through this week. It's been a rough week for my kiddo. It's been a rough week. All right, and now here we are. The reason I'm bringing in this glitter is because if you can see, I want to be able to use these, so this is going to kind of repeat the glitter that's in these, just because they're freaking adorable and I love them. This is going to be a hard reach for me to let go, because I think I'm going to want to keep it. I can't. Okay, so I'm just going to put one tail down in there, and this is going to be 4.5 inches on the loop. Now this is a 5/8, so this is really narrow. 4.5 inches on the loop, and then this one will have a tail that comes up. All right, so now I like to secure everything with the zip tie, and then I will take a chenille stem behind it. So I'm going to bring all this up. Woo, this is going to be pretty. I'm going to stick this on the back. Put it on the back. Wrap this around. There we go. I have so much left to do. Are you guys ready for Christmas yet? Like, do you have all your gifts bought? Do you have everything wrapped? Because I don't. This is about the furthest behind I've ever been on Christmas shopping in my life. I'm usually an early bird, and this year I am not. Not really feeling the Christmas spirit too much this year. I'm trying really hard. It's just, it's hard. It's hard. If you've lost someone to decide, you know, close to Christmas, you know, it's just, I don't know. I'm really struggling, and I'm going to be honest with everybody about that. I'm really struggling right now with my mental health. I thought Disney was going to be a cure-all, and it did not. In some ways, it kind of almost made it worse, because I was just remembering all the times we were down there with them, and made it kind of worse in some ways. But then in some ways, I was like, okay, well, stop comparing the past to now, and just focus on making good memories with Aria, which we did. But oh my gosh, we walked 50 miles. 50 miles! I added up all my steps. I asked Google to calculate the mileage for a woman. That is why I did not go live on Monday. I couldn't even walk. I overdid it. I'm not as young as I used to be, my friends. I am not young anymore, and I am feeling that. Even when I'm crafting, I'm having a hard time standing up the whole time. It is taking a toll on my back. I think that's why I haven't been live more often. It physically hurts. But I'm trying. Doing my best. All right, so there's going to be That's so pretty. I love it. And I like the scale. I don't think I overdid it, right? So I'm going to put this on here right now. Just pushing the pipe cleaner through on the top and on the bottom. Here we go. Oh, all right. All right. Here we go. All right, I'm just going to bring it around this way so I can make sure it's nice and tight. Ooh, there's a little bit of a leaf back there that I didn't catch. I did clean it off before I started, but I missed a leaf. I can't believe I did that. I'll stop. All right, so this one, I'm just going to poke this right back into here. You know what, since I'm here, I'm going to trim that off too. There we go. Sometimes you just got to look at it. You got to trim around the outside of your grapevine just to see what's kind of sticking out. It's kind of like, you know, when you put on a swimsuit and you got to kind of check the bikini line to make sure that there aren't certain things sticking out past the sight line. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the same way with the grapevine. But sometimes, you know, I'll clean it before, but then I go back and I'm like, uh-oh, there's a couple spots I want to fix. So, all right, so here we go. I love this ribbon. Look at how I love the curls, first of all. I'm really glad I did that. But it's got such a great wire on there. That was amazing. Okay, so that tail was down, so that was up. So that means that loop is up. That's up there. Okay, awesome. All right, I'm liking where this is headed. Obviously, we need to do some more. So now we are going to bring in our 60919. That is this filler bush. 60919 isn't, it was the original SKU number for what we called some of the stuff. Now I think you can just look under 24-inch EVA leaf and berry. And you'll find a place like Decor Exchange carry it. Craft Outlet carries it. I'm hoping if it keeps going well with the kits and supplies, I'm hoping that I will start carrying more of this in my shop too. So I'll be having supplies available not in kits, but as individual supplies. I'm working on it. I got a whole bunch of stuff in the basement of kits and stuff that I got to put together. So excited. Okay, so I've got 3 red. Now I'm going to do 3 pink. So I've got 3 for the top and 3 for the bottom of each color. Take the extra paper off. Kind of trim it a little bit. I did fluff this. So when you get it, it's kind of all nice and flat. We want to fluff it out, okay? You want it to take up as much real estate as possible. Like, let it breathe. Let it breathe. It's like taking off the bra, right? Just air it out. Let it go. Stephanie, I usually do design sitting down. I just don't do it when I'm on a live. But yeah, I usually have to sit down. I bought one of those stools that goes like, it's got the pneumatic up and down. I have to do that. It just hurts too much otherwise. That's okay. I'm going to push through. Because I'm a fighter. I'm a survivor. Yeah. No, I'm not. All right. So I like to start by putting some right behind the bow. I like to make sure it looks nice and pretty. The reason I didn't use this for Christmas is I don't know if you can see it really closely, but the berries on this ended up kind of looking a little bit more pink. So I was like, well, that actually kind of goes well with this. So I kept those for this. It was kind of weird. I got it and I'm like, that's not red. Those are pink berries. Which, that's okay. I knew I was going to use it for something. I can always find a use for stuff, that's for sure. Never a problem. Okay, so I like that one coming out from behind there. Now I want to alternate and put in a pink. Trim just a little bit off. I really like to make sure that I've got kind of as much of the paper off as I can get. All right. Next, I'm going to kind of move up that way And you want to make sure your berries are in the front and this little one is in the back, okay? So I'm going to come in here with this. All right. And it doesn't have to be matchy-matchy. I'm going to just kind of come in with a couple other ones. And then I'm going to start, instead of coming in a straight line, we're going to start going out side to side. All right. Coming up and coming down. Kind of filling all this in, so I'm coming in here right now. There we go. Nice and pretty. I like that. I'm going to do a red though. And then maybe some more, maybe a pink back there. And then a pink up there. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to do a red. Kind of like right up behind here. I was trying to push something in on a grapevine a couple weeks ago and it wouldn't go in. I'm like, what's going on? It was hitting the hook that the wreath was hanging on. that was not one of my finer moments, my friends. All right. I'll bring this one into here. I like that. I like it. I like it. I like it. Now I do, however, want to bring some pink right into here, okay? So we're going to go kind of behind this bow right here. I want it to kind of go right in. Eek. Let's tilt it to the side. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Let's try to go in that way. That's better. There we go. Make sure berries to the front. Spreading this all out. All right. There we go. I'm really liking this. And these are making me hungry. These remind me of, I don't know if you guys have this where you are, but we have Fannie Mae candy up here. It's like a chocolatier brand. It's like C's candies or like Russell Stover, but it blows Russell Stover out of the water. I'm not a Russell Stover fan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to pull these apart now. We're going to focus on the bottom. And again, I've already fluffed these in the interest of time. I can hear my daughter down here. Maybe she'll want to watch something with her old lady when I'm done with this. That would be cool if she wanted to spend a little time with her mom. I'm saying that loud enough so that she feels guilty if she doesn't. Yeah. All right, there's our pinks. And then now I'm going to get our reds. I'm just trying to be so nice and neat because I vacuumed and I literally spent like an hour vacuuming in here. The stuff that was on the floor. I found 2 pins. Shame on me. This is why I don't let my dog ever come in here. I don't want anything to happen to her. I don't want her to get into anything. So I was very upset with myself that I had pins on the floor. Shame, shame. I had a dog die on me because he swallowed a push pin. Oh, my kids were little. Dexter. He was a good boy. Broke my heart. All right. So now we had pink. Now we're going to bring some red again around the side. All right. So let's go this way. Kind of see. I'm going to go up on an angle. It's hard to get in here because I have that, the bow is in there and it's pulled real tight with, the pipe cleaner. And that was kind of preventing me from being able to push a lot of stuff in there. Okay. Reorganizing these. Sometimes it's like, wait, what order is this? Got to make sure that everything looks right and good. Okay, so this one's going to kind of come down there. The paper kind of came off a lot of this, but I think I can get this in here without it splintering too much on itself. Okay, there we go. All right, now I want to start putting some underneath here. Stephanie, this is not one of my kits. I haven't done grapevine kits yet, but that is on my list of ones to do for spring. I'm going to have one that is a blue chinoiserie butterfly. I'm just trying to work on trying to find florals. I have some blue and white 60919. I'm trying to also look at the filler bush. I need to go to my supplier in person and look at that, because you know, you see it online, but I need to see it and feel it to make sure that I like it. But I do have other stuff. I had imported. I ordered it last year, surprisingly. Look at me being ahead of the game and all. I ordered that last August. And it had to be imported. So I've been patiently waiting, anticipating when it shall arrive. I'm going to go down here on this because I'm going to have a red one. I think I'm going to want to do a red one down here and then a pink. But yeah, I really am going to be trying to do where what you see me doing is then you can go buy a kit to do the same thing. I'm just not financially quite there yet, but it's getting there. Full transparency with you guys. I've never taken money from what I've made and actually used it for myself or for my bills or anything else. I've been constantly reinvesting in supplies and ribbon and all this stuff. So that's all my money from the last 5 years of, you know, really devoting myself to this has gone into that. So I'm trying real hard, you know, to kind of reinvesting it in the business, and I think it's going good. Okay, now I know this is kind of heavy on a lot of the 60919, and there is a lot in here, but it's because I'm not going to be putting a lot of florals in here. I really just wanted to have the smaller ones, and now we're going to be building out, bringing in some of the florals. Let me just fix my bow a little bit. Going back up here, spreading this out, you know, just make sure it's in there and feeling airy. Okay, so now these are some of the florals I'm going to be working with. I may not use all of them because I do want to also bring in red roses. I want a good mix of the pink with the red, but I want to put my larger florals in there first. So I'm going to be starting with these, and I may not use too many. But again, this is a mixed bush that came from Old Time Pottery. You can find mixed floral bushes, you know, Deco Exchange, affiliate link in my bio, you know, Craft Outlet, that type of thing. Now I like to go through, and if I'm going to put one on the top, then I do like to go through and put one on the bottom. Not necessarily at the exact same spot, but, you know, kind of sort of similar. I think it's kind of an easier way for people who aren't that experienced with grapevine is to do it. Is kind of just, okay, one on the top, one on the bottom. Because what you don't want to do is get, you know, the top looks great, and then you realize, oh my gosh, I don't have enough to finish the bottom, okay? And depending on how well this goes in here and how much I get in here, I'm kind of rethinking. I don't think I'm going to do any more ribbon cascades. I think I'm good with just what I have, but I might put a couple of them maybe out here toward the end. We're going to wait and see how far I get. Okay, now I'm going to go pink rose. How many pink roses do I have? I have one. And I want to make sure I take the greenery with it. 2. That one doesn't have any more, so I'm going to do that with 3, 4. So I have enough for 2 and 2. Okay? Which is cool. But I think I still want to do, for balance, another large pink on top and another large pink on the bottom. So here we go. So I like to kind of put it in there, and then when I feel it's good, then I'll kind of bend it a little bit toward the front, just because you don't want all your flowers facing that way. But I do want it to kind of come toward the front a little bit, and then you can open these up, right? They don't have to stay squished. And if they do end up looking squished when you get them, handheld steamer. My handheld steamer is my best friend. I used it last week actually to straighten out. You know when you get to the end of a roll of ribbon, and sometimes it ends up being like, you can tell that the ribbon was kind of wet or something when they put it on there because it's all wrinkled and it's just not laying right. So I had to use that last week on some Valentine ribbon, and it worked perfectly. I literally just ran it, put the steamer down and ran the ribbon up and down it, and it was perfect. You just gotta be careful not to steam your finger. Nobody wants to steam their finger. Now this one, I got one left. I kind of feel like if I put it out there, that brings the eye outward a little too much, but I feel like it might need to go kind of maybe like up there just as a third on the top. Here we go. Trying to feel, make sure on the back that it didn't come through. Yeah, so I'm pushing a little bit. There we go. I'm liking this. This is pretty. I am going to bring some stuff out here, but it's going to be smaller. It's not going to be the larger blooms. So for example, this would be a good example. I'm going to use a light pink one right here. If I could get it in. There we go. I know you're seeing my head. Sorry. And my hat. My bangs look weird today, so I just threw on a hat. They're clean. They I don't know. They dried funny. No matter how many times I tried to curl it this morning, it looked weird. Not that I ever really care. All right, now this one, I want to bring this and balance it. So I'm going to bring a little bit and put it in here. Very pretty. This is a longer one. So I kind of want to bring this down kind of in here. Uh-oh, that one poked through. Hold on, I'm going to glue this again. And I'm going to take a little bit off. So Stephanie, the ribbon and sign, I got them from the Craig Bachman warehouse sale, but I do believe you can get these from Craft Outlet. I would also try perhaps Deco Exchange. Those are my current go-tos for where to get some of these. I'm putting together right now, I got a couple of kits. I got one kit. It's going to be a thin kit. It's not a grapevine. But I've got to get it listed. And then I got some other ones I'm going to be doing too. Oof. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. All right. I don't think I'm going to end up going with the white daisies. I think that looks a little too spring, and I think this looks a little too purple. So I think I'm done with everything on here except for, you know me. If there's one left on here or something, I'm going to use it. So I'm going to grab this light pink, and I think I'm going to bring this out here onto the upper side. Let me make sure. Can you guys... I'm going to take you guys up. There. How's that? We're taking you for a ride. I didn't want to stay too high before because then you wouldn't have seen me make the bow, but I should have probably lifted it up. Okay, we got that in there. Now I want to add just a couple of the red roses. Not many, but just enough where we're bringing in some shades of the red. And I can tell right here I would definitely like to have a flower. I gotta get more glue. Hold on. Here we go. All right. There we go. Just a little hint of red. I would like a hint of red over here as well. So we're going to go now next onto the side. All right. Adding my glue. And this is where the bow is inserted. So it was a little tricky for me to try to get that in there. And if anything does poke out the back, you can always trim it when you're done. Right? Like I said before, it's like trimming your bikini area. All right. Right here. You guys can see we've got lots of color and then there's nothing here. We're going to go in now. I'm going to push this up. So I'm going to push the greenery up and have a longer stem because the wreath is here, but I want this to kind of fall into the sight line right here. So I need to make sure it's a longer stem. Let's go in. I know you're looking at my head. Sorry. Hold on. No, that didn't work. Let's go this way. Kind of going up in there. And then pull it down just a hair. There we go. It's exactly where I wanted it. Okay. And this is there, so I don't think we need to do anything with that. My only other thought was, how far down do I want to come? Now I've already got quite a bit going on here with this, so I'm just going to stick it in here for a second. So I could come all the way down like that, right? Or I could kind of let that be and kind of come in here, and I think that's going to be my option because I've already covered a little bit of the sign with the greenery, and I don't want to do that too much. I'm just going to do this. Plus, I've got a couple of my hearts. And I've got 10 of them, and I'm not using all 10. That's way too many. That's too much. It's one of my favorite games on The Price is Right. Because nobody ever wins that one. They've got the price of the things, and you'll be like, is that enough? No, that's too much. Okay, you win. All right. It's calling for one more red. So let's talk about why I'm going to put another red here. So we got red, 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 red. There's no red, right? So I think I'm going to potentially put this kind of out here because there's nothing really floral out there. And I want to sort of fill that in. It doesn't have to go all the way to the sign, but I want it to come down a little bit more. Just so it feels balanced, you know? There. Oh my gosh. I'm loving this so much. Here we go. All right. All right. So that's it for the florals. Oh, hold on. No, I lied. I see one more spot. It right above the top of the bow. It looks a little sparse up here, right? I want to have a floral behind there just to make sure, and I'm going kind of further back here. There we go. Just to have a little hint, a little touch of color right back there. There we go. There we go. Okay. So now the only thing we have left to do is, oh gosh, what a mess. What a mess. Is add these. Just a couple. Just a few. And I think I'm going to leave these together as a group. I could have separated them out, but then that makes them so very small and narrow that I don't think that they would stay in or stick very well. So like right there. Okay, so there's an example. It just adds that little unexpected touch of fun, but it brings that whole, the Valentine sweets theme. It really brings that in here. Is that in there good? I'm going to hit this with the glue gun right where it went in just to make sure it's on there good. All right, we got it. We got it. We got one there. Okay. So to kind of balance it out, I want to make sure I get another one. Like I said, kind of toward the bottom. All right. So it's going to kind of be right. Maybe a little further in. I don't want this one to stick out too far, right? So I might kind of, maybe I'll actually go like this. I might actually twist them around. Here we go. Put the longer one over here and then the shorter one. That'll work. And I'm sorry, I'm going to get back to your comments in just a second. I promise. I don't want you guys to think that I'm abandoning you. All right. But then see, now it's in there. I can separate it out. So it, even though they're stuck in one spot, but I'm kind of bringing them apart a little bit. See, it doesn't look like it's just in there as one chunk. Okay. Now we're going to do the next one. Okay. Tanika, I got this stand on Etsy. If you search for Wreath easel or Wreath stand, there's lots of different companies that or people that make them. Now I prefer the taller ones because I make a lot of swags. So I like a real tall one, but I like the open backed one because I can stick my hand through the back and work on it. But some people like the flat back. But I would say definitely check Etsy because people make them by hand. There's not really a company that manufactures. It's all small individual businesses that do that. Tina! Hey, Tina! Tina, Disney was awesome. Disney was exhausting. Disney is for young people or for people who have more days that they can spend in the park so that they don't have to run around and do the entire park in one day. I was just absolutely beat when I got back. I still am exhausted. The backs of my legs are killing me still. All right, here we go. Was it fun? Would I do it again? Absolutely. Would I bring narcotics next time so that I can have some really good pain meds? Yes, indeed, I would. Oh my gosh, it was tough. It was a tough one. All right, I've got a lot of these, so that's why I'm kind of like, okay, I'm gonna put quite a few of these in there. I just really like them. It's growing on me. This is gonna be one of those wreaths that it hurts to sell because I'm gonna want to keep it, but I'm not because I'm a business. All right. Bringing it in here. Okay. Here we go. We've got one there and one there. I definitely know I want one in the back that's going to have to be a little bit taller. So let me put that one there right now. I didn't cut very much off the stem, but I definitely want it to be right back here. That's been my plan the whole time. There we go. There we go. Kind of separate it out. And then I want to make sure we can see that one heart. Right there. There we go. Pink rose. Little heart coming up behind there. Cute. Cute, cute, cute. right. I want one in there. I know it's upside down, and that's kind of the one thing that makes me feel a little weird sometimes. Like, I don't want it to be upside down. But it's going to be what it's going to be. All right. So we're going to go that side there, that there. All right. Now, we do have... I keep changing my mind on where I want this tail, but I want this to kind of go to that side of the sign and that side of that floral. So I'm kind of like flanking that with that on either side. And then this, I can kind of, you know, it's coming out. Yeah, they're upside down, but they're cute. All right. And I like that these are curly, but they're not too long, right? I like that, okay? How many more? I've got 4 left. I don't think I'm going to use all 4, but I'm still going to keep trying to go around the outside with these. So next one looks like it needs to be roughly right here. Let's throw it in there. Sorry, I'm like, I got to see what I'm doing. What am I doing? I can't tell. I like to have my hand back here so I can feel if something starts poking through that shouldn't be there. All right. Take a little bit off that one. Doing another one. These are adorable. I love these so much. It might seem like a lot going in here, but like, I don't know. I wanted a lot in here. Yay. This one's a little, doesn't feel very tight. I wonder if I can bring it over and like have anything backing up behind it. I guess we're good. All right. I feel like we need one right here. I want this one to kind of be sticking out of the top. I didn't think I was going to use this many, to be honest. But once I started, I was like, dang, I had a vision. Get in there. I'm not really thinking of these as 3. I'm thinking of these as the big one, and then there's just some teeny tiny little ones behind it. All right, and then last one right in there. Okay. Wow, I can't believe I used 10 of these, man. Good thing I got these on sale, because darn. There's a lot of them. I gotta find a good spot. You know, sometimes like there's just not a good spot in there, but there we go. Found one. Okay, that one I'll kind of poking that little heart kind of behind there. Got that one there. All right. Wow. I was not expecting to make one this elaborate tonight, but there we go. There we go. Again, I mean, I could go all out and put lots of really expensive stuff in here, but I have to make sure it sells, right? So that's the problem is, do I want to make something super cool over the top with lots of expensive stuff? Heck yeah, I do. Can I be sure that that's going to actually sell and bring me profit? No, I can't. Not yet. So I'm kind of working toward that, right? I think we all are. But I like to also keep what I do affordable for the everyday person who doesn't have $300 to spend on a wreath, you know? Those ones are gorgeous. They are. But I'm trying to market to a group that needs affordability. All right. Try to take you guys off of here so you guys can get a better view. Here we go. We're going to take a look. All right, so here is our finished wreath. Now this is going to be posted at sweetariadecor.com. But this is our Love is Sweet with the sign. It's an 18-inch round grapevine. We put lots of filler bush. We had some greenery in there. We had a lot of these really cute, glittery, and I'm a sucker for sprinkles. Lots of those. And then we had our matching, look at that, 2 kinds of matching ribbon that coordinate with the sign. I'm in love with this one. I don't want to sell it, but I'm going to have to. All right, let me back it up just a little bit further. Sorry, I'm hitting a wall. So there we go. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really, really appreciate it. This is going to be listed again, sweetredecor.com. I will be live on Monday for Monday Craft Afternoon. It's probably going to be another Valentine's, but I don't think I'm going to be live next Wednesday because, you know, Christmas. I'm going to be with the family, going to hang out. But I will see you guys on Monday, and I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Get caught up on all that Christmas shopping, start baking those cookies, and most importantly, let's not put pressure on ourselves to do everything and do all the things for everybody else. We need to enjoy our holiday too. All right, thank you. I love you, sweeties. Good night. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. You can follow me all over social media, and you can shop my store at sweetredecor.com.